I'm filling up the water while Carl eats. Look how cute this is. If you see there, Trixie is waiting for a four-wheeler ride. She's being very obedient, sitting there by the corner post, and the four-wheelers are in the background behind her, right behind the fence post. You can't see it. But don't y'all think that she, for the most part, has become a little bit different now that Maggie's passed? And I can't help but think to myself, like, I know this is dumb. I know this is gonna sound dumb to y'all, but could she kind of maybe like realize that her mama's gone and that she's gonna have to like take over and be the new good girl, daddy's good girl? Because guys, listen, she's being a really good girl. And I just kind of wonder if there's some kind of intuition she has, or to realize that now that my mom is not to no longer here, maybe I have to be the good girl to help daddy, because she really does. This might be my favorite part of the day. I'm about to walk outside, and as you can see, everyone's kind of congregated all around the roll of hay, all by the fence. They know dad's coming out. Now look, so far Beverly has not spotted me. But once Beverly spots me, y'all have to listen. I don't even see Beverly, really. Where's Beverly? Beverly is behind the roll of hay. She hasn't seen me yet. Beverly! Good morning, Bev. Guys, she has her mouth full of hay. She can't holler right now. She has to wait till she swallows. Then she'll be happy to holler at us. Beverly, I can't wait to hear you. Trixie, we're not going for a run this morning, love. We do have a much bigger job to do right now. As you can see here, we went and got feed last night. So we're gonna have to unload some feed, and then we will get this day started. It's about time, sweetie. She finally swallowed that mouthful of hay. All right, guys, do not be alarmed. Dixie has not escaped. I've actually let her out. We have to treat her hooves, and it's easier to work on her without, and I repeat, without that one right there, Beverly. And even the birds can sometimes gather around and make things very difficult. Now, what's going on right now is something kind of funny. The birds are starting to realize that, hey, wait a minute. Look, they got food over here. And they're gonna slowly make their way over. Except for Hardhead right there. This is a really bad idea, Trixie. Oh my gosh, look how excited. Baby. She just loves the four-wheeler. Hello, Millie. Hey, Trix. There's Fiona. All right, everyone's with Daddy. The river is back up to its normal height, and that's good. I told Jamie it's been so many months since we've seen the river where it's supposed to be, and we're blessed for that. I feel bad for the folks around the Mississippi to see how low that river is and to know how important that river is for commerce and trade and shipping and just all kinds of things that people need from that river. And I'm hoping that at some point things will kind of return to normal and get it back to where it needs to be. Have y'all ever thought about, though, how a river can shape the land around it? Now listen, I want to tell you something that's going to seem unreal, but this river, the Trinity River, is responsible for all of the beautiful what is that? Not my eagle. But this river is responsible for all the amazing topography here at Longhorn Lester's. Now, don't forget that this ridge here, this 300 foot, guys, we are 300 foot from that top of that ridge to the river is 300 foot in elevation. And isn't it crazy to realize that this river, over the thousands and thousands of years, is responsible for carving out all of this? It kind of amazes me, like when you look at the Colorado River and how it actually carved the Grand Canyon through all of those years of weathering and erosion and just floods, and it's carved out the Grand Canyon. That's crazy. I'll tell you a quick story, but a true story. I know that rivers the force of water can actually change the your bodies of land. Does that make any sense? We had a pine tree, a big pine tree, close to the river, fall across the water there at I'm a Survivor. Now, of course, that river's not near as wide as this one over here, and the pine tree, in fact, went all the way across it. But it landed where it was right on top of the water. And it began to kind of push the water into a direction and begin to kind of carve out. It's I would say kind of a creek. It began to carve out a creek. That pine tree falling across the water, of course, the water's not going to stop moving and the current keeps pushing towards it, but the pine tree wasn't moving. And so the water began to divert into a small creek. That small creek slowly began to eat away and became a river. And then all of the land on the other side of the pine tree, it began to dry up and it became a small creek. And so now to this day, this has been probably 20 years ago, but to this day, a chunk of my dad's property has been cut off from that pine tree, diverting water through what used to be a creek, has now become the river, the main river. And so we can no longer get to that piece of property. It's only probably a couple of acres, but you can no longer get to it without using a boat. So it's made its own little island. And the river zigzags through it. And you want to hear what's kind of dumb? The creek part now, sometimes it'll almost dry all the way up. Now there's some water that flows underneath it, obviously, which keeps the water running. But until that pine tree rots away or something, and then I always wonder if someone was to come down and somehow move that pine tree or cut it, or when it eventually rots and floats away, will the river return to its normal course? But no, that's just kind of crazy how Mother Nature and how a river, which looks slow moving and peaceful, has actually over time shaped all of this and has given us just the most beautiful topography. And that goes for every home along this side of the river. But I can't imagine how deep the water had to have been at some point to carve all of this. That's kind of scary to think about. Okay, just a little short tidbit with Lester and Trixie. She's so obedient, y'all. She's so obedient.
Don't let your troubles fester. Come watch Longhorn Lester.
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that.